Hey everybody, and welcome to a Let's Look At that if you had asked me a month ago if I would be doing, I would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the basically came out of nowhere Mega Man Cross Street Fighter that Capcom has just, well, Capcom didn't really release it, they're sort of distributing it, but it was actually a fan-made game that Capcom kind of has picked up and said, we'll distribute it, we'll give it like a lot more exposure, and more importantly, in contrast to a lot of stuff we've done recently, we're not going to be total dicks and like sue you or issue a cease and desist or something. So what basically this is a Mega Man game, like a classic 8-bit Mega Man game from the NES era, but crossed with Street Fighter. So the bosses are all going to be, like former Robot Masters are going to be Street Fighter characters here. I'll admit, I've got a lot of experience with the Street Fighter franchise. I played a lot of Street Fighter 2 and a lot of Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, but I must confess, I have no idea who Relento is, I have no idea who Urien is, but I know all the other characters, even if it is only from Street Fighter 4 and only tangentially. Anyway, we're gonna get started here. I've only played about half an hour of this game, all told so far. But I've got a lot of positive things to say about it, I've got a lot of negative things to say about it. Overall, I think we've got to keep in mind, to keep in perspective, that this game is absolutely 100% free. So, you know, anything negative I say, you've got to take it completely within that context. But anyway, we're just going to get started here. We're on the Chun-Li stage. This is a stage that I've dealt with a little bit so far. Pardon me, I'm just getting used to the actual, like, keyboard controls here. There is gamepad support, but I found the gamepad support to be quite honestly spotty. Like, it says if you just plug in if you have your controller plugged in when you start the game, then it'll recognize it natively. I have found that not to be the experience so far, and when I have my controller plugged in, sometimes the game accepts my controller inputs and refuses to accept PC inputs, sometimes it accepts PC inputs and refuses to accept controller inputs. So I've simplified the whole arrangement here, oh god, by just simply using the keyboard and, well, not mouse, but I'm so used to saying it in combination like that. Yeah, by just using the keyboard, I've made things very easy on myself. So this is a game that, at least in my playthrough so far, does not seem to focus so much on the actual level design. It's much more of a, oh, I didn't even notice in there. It's much more of a boss-focused game. In fact, in this level, this is a level that I did off-camera for the first time. So this is not totally blind, but all of the other levels, except for maybe Ryu's, is going to be totally blind. I think I played a little of Dhalsim's level, too. But I was basically able to get to the Robot Master in this level by just running from side to side, which is good. Like, ignoring enemies has proven to be a surprisingly strong strategy in this game compared to other Mega Man games, because the enemies that you come across are substantially more difficult than the traditional enemies you come across early in traditional Mega Man games. So basically, I find that most of the time, if I can just avoid enemies, that makes things 10 times easier for me. However, your mileage may vary with that strategy. By the way, I should mention, oftentimes, you know, people will say things like, you know, I couldn't play Mega Man if I wasn't playing it with a controller. You guys know that I'm kind of a controller snob when it comes to platforming and, like, action platforming games. The PC controls for this are absolutely fine. It's not like if you're used to playing, like, an NES or an SNES emulator where you're going to be using, like, Z and X without rebinding your controls. You should always rebind your controls. But this is, like, traditional PC movement that you might expect. WASD to move around. And then jumping is L and shooting is K, which actually feels remarkably similar to a controller. It doesn't feel as good, but it feels good enough that I was like, if I had grown up using this system, I probably would not notice a difference. So I'm totally fine with the system that we have so far. Anyway, we're going to move our way through. Overall, I should mention, my opinions on this game are, in their totality, they're positive. I thought I was going to be able to get through there. However, there are a lot of negative things that seriously detract from the experience. The big one, and one that we're probably not going to get to see in action, well, we might get to see it in action if I die a few more times, but there is no save system and there's no password system as well, which basically means, you know, when you turn off your game, you're effed, like, you're done. Which I find unbelievably stupid. This is our boss fight here, by the way. Like, when you turn off your game, you're just screwed unless you save it yourself somehow. I don't know how you do that. Maybe, like, engineer some kind of save file. You have to be a smarter man than I to make that happen. So we're fighting Chun-Li here. She has some moves. I believe that's her Sienko, and it's been a while, forgive me. And her spinning bird kick as well. She can also do an ultra, which worries me. I wonder if that's like a one-shot kill if you get hit by it. Also, she has this red meter. Oh, you know what? I just realized. I was gonna bring up how that didn't make sense to me. Then I realized that's just her ultra meter. When her ultra meter builds up, she can do an ultra. Interesting. That's very clever. I like that. We might die against Chun-Li here, but we'll probably beat her if we get to fight her again. That's generally the way it goes in Mega Man. You know, you get that checkpoint. Gotta get that checkpoint, blue guy. If you get to the checkpoint before the boss, and you take damage before you fight the boss, you're probably gonna be in a worse state than if you just, you know, start over from the boss. Okay, so she got me there, she got her victory screen, whatever. We're still gonna be able to finish this off. I believe, anyway. She's not too difficult so far. So far, the difficulty curve, I don't really know how to call it. It's difficult to call it because sometimes you just play an early level and you're like, oh, this Mega Man's too easy, is the knee-jerk reaction that comes out a lot. But it's hard to say that with any authority until I spend a little bit more time with the game, you know, actually gotten down with the order of the robot masters. She hit me there. It's not cool, lady. She's gonna have her super meter or ultra meter built up soon. This is not going fantastically so far. I'm just gonna stay the F away from her if I can because I'm worried about getting hit by that ultra. So there's a weird bit of strategy that doesn't really factor in other Mega Man games. Again, but what was I talking about before we got into this boss fight? Basically, I think it's crazy that this game has no save or... Oh man, I got totally killed there. That sucked. There's no save or... Yes, I will continue. Or password system, which seems insane to me. Let's go to maybe Dhalsim's level now. We'll try that out. So basically, you got to beat this game in a single sitting or you are effed. That's why when I tweeted about it, everyone was like... Yeah, keep in mind, there is absolutely no way to record your progress in the game, so there's no way you can do a series on it, because I was looking forward. I did a series... By the way, this is weird. On Dhalsim stage, notice the arrow in the background. If you want to make progress, you have to go to the left. Whoa! What is this? I'm just gonna run through here, because this guy could be a pain in the dick. Oh, he actually appears above you. Okay, I remember how to do it. This is what I mean when I say that the regular enemies in this Mega Man are so much more difficult than the enemies, even in like Mega Man 9 or 10, which are difficult Mega Man games. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And don't assume that just because those games are newer, that they're not as hard. So it took me like half my health bar just to get through that first enemy. But that's not to say that's not entirely my fault, because it is mostly my fault for not knowing enemy patterns. I mean, Mega Man's always been a challenging game. I just feel like the starting enemies are like substantially more difficult, and that gives me more incentive than usual in a Mega Man game to just fucking avoid them, basically. Like, this guy, like, I can fight this guy. Why would I fight him, though, if I could just leave? There's not really too much incentive to actually stay and actually fight these guys. And the way Mega Man normally works is that you do want to kill basically every enemy you come across, because they hold the keys to essentially, you know, getting extra health and whatnot. But, can I kill this guy now? These guys don't even drop anything, I think, because they are mystical, magical genies. Seriously? He's got to be dead soon. Well, I'm going to be dead soon, so there we go. He's finally gone. I didn't even realize that was a ladder. I thought it was just a pillar. But hopefully we're at the halfway point of the level. The level seemed pretty short. But yeah, so far, I mean, in the end, I'm not going to say it evens out, but it does seem pretty similar to the difficulty of a Mega Man game, like Mega Man 9 or 10. Or, you know, 2 or 3, I guess. Not 1, which is one of the hardest games ever made, but... I'm struggling against these early robot masters. I don't know the boss order, which is obviously a big factor involved in that. But there's always a lot of memorization and stuff like that goes into a Mega Man game. I Let's Played Mega Man 10 if you're new to the channel. That was one of my Let's Plays that was not really all that popular, and I can understand why. I did fairly well in that game. It wasn't a totally blind run, but it was substantially difficult. For me, at least. And eventually, like, I kept deleting my save by accident because the Mega Man saving feature was weird. I much would have preferred just a password system. But hey, the fact that the game had a saving and password system, or maybe it didn't have a password system. The fact that it had a saving system in general is pretty nice in comparison to this, I guess. Oh, just go. Don't, yeah, just stay on the carpet. Remember what Steppenwolf said? Okay, we're gonna just get hit like 60 times. Oh no, you can make it! I know you can make it. Stop getting hit by this Dingleberry. There we go. Just gotta go as fast as you can, I guess. That's gotta be the checkpoint. Now we can choose to go upper or lower. Standard Mega Man trope. Don't fall down. They fell down. I don't like that. I am gonna get hit going through here. There's no two ways about that, is there? I wonder if there's a power you can get that gives you invincibility. Well, I got an energy tank out of that. But it's kind of bittersweet. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to use like a whole energy tank. But notice that these guys, when they're spinning, you can't even hit these guys with bullets. So it's basically like, well, sorry, you're screwed. Like, they're hard enough, even without that stipulation, because they do so much damage and they come at you so quickly. By the way, I don't know how to access that E-Tank. I assume it's enter or something, but I'm a little bit wary about effing around with it. Because, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm a little bit wary about messing around with it, because this game's got some weird quirks. For example, you might think of hitting the escape key to pause. Don't do that. Your game's gonna completely crash, and you'll lose all your progress. It was really weird, because the first time I was like, oh, I'll just hit escape to bring up like a graphical options menu or something. And then the game just crashed to black, which is really shitty. By the way, there's no graphical options. There's the option, you can like hit F4 to toggle between resolutions. Oh, that was so bad. What was I even thinking there? Just too light of a tap. But you can use F4 to change resolutions. between like windowed and full screen, as well as making it the window size bigger. But there's not too much in the way of customization on that end. And as such, I'm recording this with Camtasia, which is always a sore spot for me, because Camtasia records fairly poor quality video, at least the way I record it, compared to Fraps. But Fraps wouldn't recognize this game. It's a weird beast like that. You can tell, like, it's certainly... And I don't mean this to sound super negative, but it's definitely a game that's unpolished. I can't help but feel that if Capcom had just put, like, an extra... like a little bit of money into this themselves, besides marketing... oh, I did manage to kill it there. Surprisingly. Like, if Capcom had actually put their full weight behind this, or at least a little bit of their clout behind this, this could have been a much better product if they just basically... Oh, I don't want to fight this guy. If they basically taken the time to be like, well, yeah, your game needs a save feature. That's crazy. We can't release this game without a save feature. But of course, keep in mind, the counterpoint to all of this stuff is that the game itself is 100% totally free. So basically, if you don't like it, don't play it. I'm probably not going to spend too much time playing this, which hurts me to say because I was really excited, you know, a week ago when it got announced. So it's not like I've been waiting for years for this game or anything like that. But I feel like it could be so much better. Like, it could be maybe not a great standalone Mega Man game, because the level design is a little bit contrarian. Like, there's a lot of branching paths in this one compared to a standard Mega Man game. And to be honest, I find the levels, like, substantially more difficult. Oh man, how do I even get out of here? There must be a slide. Am I crazy? I'm trapped in here. Do I have to kill these guys before I can be let out? I don't understand, Mega Man! Mega Man is left to right, jump and shoot man, as Eagle Raptor would say. We're gonna try a different stage now. I tried Ryu's stage earlier, just beat my ass. What about Sea Viper? She's my go-to girl in Super Street Fighter 4 next to Sakura, but... Anyway, we'll see what we can get here on Sea Viper. This will probably be the last stage I try. Basically, my impressions of this game, like I said earlier, are positive enough, and I think it's really cool that Capcom is doing right by their fans in releasing the game for free, and again, not being total corporate dicks like sometimes they are. Especially with respect to Mega Man, they've had some awful PR recently. Obviously, we have to jump on those elevators to keep them moving. Just making for some weird gameplay there. Okay, these guys. I know these guys. What's up? Oh, they shoot lasers. Okay. See, this is a standard Mega Man enemy that I can appreciate, but it's not super easy. These are like hard enemies in the traditional Mega Mans, because you can't resist that temptation, you know, to just not shoot them. This feels much more like a traditional Mega Man level than what I've dealt with so far. So I want to go down. I guess we just wait for it to go and then we fall on it. Oh no, we're going back. Okay. What have I done? Sea Viper, help me, I'm trapped. Okay, we'll just wait for it to sink even lower, then we'll drop in. God damn it. Okay, we want to get in the middle. I guess I could just get off earlier. This is a fucking weird level by Mega Man standards. Let it go down. Now jump. Okay, well at least I'm here, even if I'm going to take damage, and I am going to take a lot of damage. I'll be able to get that health after I kill this guy. There we go. And then we'll just wait for the elevator to come back, and then we'll walk through. This is weird Mega Man styling, because normally that elevator, once it got out of the RAM, would just be gone forever. But here, out of the RAM, by the way, is not a technical industry term, as you might expect. I'm not sure if it's in the RAM, or it's in the CPU, it's in the game's internal hard drive. I have absolutely no idea. We're just going to wait for this to fall all the way to the bottom. This is kind of actually an annoying level mechanic, I must admit, so far. Okay, let it fall. There we go. And again, we'll take damage here. There's kind of no way around it, but we will also pick up some extra health as a result. This level is weird, but I'm enjoying it. Oh, okay. Well, I guess it still has this mechanic where when you leave an enemy off screen, they respawn. That makes sense. I wouldn't want a new Mega Man game to not have that. That's tradition. And those guys turn around, which I have to be careful for. It's okay. Oh, awesome. The level design of Mega Man games is always interesting in that at first it doesn't always look that difficult. But then after you go through it for a little while, you're like, oh, this level was like specifically designed to be a dick in the most dickish way possible. Possibles? What am I even talking about? I meant to say the most dickish ways possible. Alright. I don't know what that thing is. Some kind of mine, perhaps? It's the mine apocalypse. I tried. We've got to be past our checkpoint. I guess I've got to kill this guy. Whoa, okay. I don't know what the hell happened there. That hardly seems fair to just have an enormous laser beam come down from the ground. I don't understand. I only have the Mega Buster. I don't have anything else. I have to come down here to attack you, my friend. Maybe... No, that is super shitty. I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do about that. Mega Man. Okay. If I just jump into this, I'm gonna die. I can't shoot through the beam. Oh, you know what I have to do? I guess I just have to shoot that skull as soon as possible. Okay, we made it. Close enough. This is frightening. I do like Mega Man levels that do this, though. Good so far. Please tell me that... Oh, God. Oh, God! Please tell me our last obstacle, though, is not going to be like one of those that's constantly shifting. We'll continue again. If you think I suck at Mega Man, you're half right. The true answer, though, is that everyone sucks at Mega Man. We're going to try it one more time. Everyone sucks at Mega Man the first time through. You're only good at Mega Man once you figure out the boss order and you get everything, like, all sorted out on that end. When you first start playing Mega Man, you're going to be garbage. Especially if you're brand new to the series. But hey, overall, my meta impressions on this game, I hate to spoil the end of the video, because obviously at the end of the video I always talk about how I feel about the game in general. It's a little bit different for this one, because this is a free game. If this was a game that, even if it cost $5, there would be really no excuse for the fact that it's so feature deficient. Like the fact that, again, I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but I've been told from several sources that it is absolutely impossible to save your game, and I've not encountered any way to do it myself. Including reading the README document, provided no information on that. So I think I'm correct in that assumption. However, that being said, you know, encourage you to do your own research. However, yeah, like, the fact that that doesn't exist means that if this was any kind of premium release, it would just be too deficient on features to be possible to recommend it, essentially. But the fact that it's free gives it a little bit more leeway, for better or worse. A lot of people don't agree with that reasoning, but I agree with that reasoning. So, considering it's not going to actually cost you anything, it's mostly just for die-hard Mega Man or perhaps die-hard Street Fighter fans, although there's definitely more to offer from a Mega Man perspective here than from a Street Fighter perspective. I really should have just stayed up there. Yeah, basically, if you're a fan of Mega Man games, I'd recommend checking it out. It just sucks that in order to beat it, you'll have to beat it in one sitting, or just, like, leave the game constantly up on your computer, which is, quite frankly, like, shockingly unreasonable. And I can't believe that nobody during production ever mentioned that this might be an issue. Maybe they did, and someone was like, shh, just have a cookie. Have a cookie, we're releasing this. It's gonna be for fan goodwill. I'm not trying to be cynical about this, like it's coming from a marketing perspective or something like that, but it is to a certain extent coming from a marketing perspective. I just wish they marketed it a little bit better by, you know, making it more making it easier for me to recommend, basically by adding functions that, you know, even games 25 years ago had built innately in. So we're basically at the checkpoint here. I just need to not F this part up. I F'd it up, but we're still going to make it down to the checkpoint. It's okay. Maybe we can even make it further, although I'll probably get hit by that big turret that is going to shoot at us. Yep. Probably should have just stopped moving for a second there, or moved faster, who knows. So this will definitely be the last, like, continue we have in Mega Man. I would love to beat a boss and get one of the powers. That may be unreasonable. I thought Chun-Li was my best chance. But I just messed it up, unfortunately. Oh, shot twice, that's worrying. Okay, we're still alive here. The ones in middle height are the worst! I was so close, but then I got hit by the turret. Okay, so I can't just spam shooting when I'm jumping on that one for middle height. I've gotta actually time it appropriately, which is okay. Normally, if they're low, you can just spam like this. If they're high, you can just jump and spam. But if they're in the middle, that's where you're gonna run into problems. There we go. That was that the one? I think it was. And we're through. This is a very futuristic ladder here, which we will take, and it got kind of close to killing me, but hey, we're still alive. Hopefully that is the last of those that we have to face. Actually, hopefully we're at the... This is what I mean by sometimes it's easier just to avoid enemies. Okay, I don't like this at all. Yeah, that's why. Get out of there. I'm hoping the boss door is soon. We're gonna have to kill this guy, though. No way I'm going to be able to jump over that, but we managed to kill him fairly well. We're going to die against Sea Viper. Like, it's almost impossible when you have low health to beat a boss on the first try with only the Mega Buster. I'm sure it's been done. I'm not the man to do it, but at the very least we'll see Sea Viper. Sweet little love letter in the boss rooms here, how they actually have, like, some of the lore behind them. Okay, that is a Thunder Punch that is going to F me up. I don't remember Sea Viper having a laser. Oh, she is... I mean, that's the other thing, is that so far the bosses have been very difficult because they have somewhat more intricate patterns than your normal Mega Man boss. I guess we're gonna get one more crack at this here. We're gonna see if I can succeed, but I would be surprised. At the very least, I would like to see what upgrades I get. Like if I get some kind of Thunder Kick or Flame Kick, considering C-Viper was my main, that should tell you how much I know about, or how much I played Street Fighter in general. Never stop jumping. That is my new strategy here. Coincidentally, also my strategy in Street Fighter. Here's the Ultra. Okay. I can't even do that Ultra when I play the game. So maybe I'm not the right person to be talking here. Quarter circles, A-okay in my book. I wonder if you actually have to input the combos to play. That would actually be kind of awesome. I would be into that. If you had to actually do like quarter circles, although it sounds good from a conceptual level, but actually inputting those in the computer is probably going to be a huge pain in the ass. I think that is going to be it, and I'm going to have to continue here. So my general feelings on Mega Man Cross Street Fighter, you know, it's free. If you're a Mega Man fan, this is definitely built for you. It's not so much for Street Fighter fans, but if you're a fan of the Mega Man franchise, especially the old ones, and you're you know, into Street Fighter as well, this could be something that's up your alley. It's a love letter for sure. It's a loving tribute. It's just, as a game, it's unfortunately not fully featured enough to really be a true classic that it could have been if there's just a little bit more feature-rich. If you want to, if there's like, the developers are watching this right now, I feel like making this game more beloved is going to be very easy. Add a save feature or a password feature, and beyond that, add some more graphical options. Like, add an actual PC-styled menu where I can go in and be like, okay, I want to run this game in like 1280 by 720 or 1920 by 1080. Anything like that would go a long way towards making this game a more palatable experience. As is, though, I'm glad it exists. I'm just not sure I'm going to be spending as much time with it now as I thought I would be when I heard the idea. Which is a shame. It's a cool idea. Execution is mostly there, but there's a few very glaring omissions that make it kind of difficult to recommend as an experience. Although, as a value proposition, obviously, considering the game is 100% free, the value is certainly there for fans of the franchise. But anyway, I'm just rambling here at this point. Thank you guys for watching Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. This is available. You can just Google the exact title here, and you can find Capcom Unity's download page. And I would encourage you to download it because Capcom actually is doing some monitoring to see how successful this is, and maybe this will encourage more products like this in the future, although hopefully more polished and fully featured ones. But in any case, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.